Kia ora and welcome back to the Navigating Breath podcast with myself, John Van Heunen. And today just setting the intention of just being really open and honest about what's been going on with me lately. And yeah, with the intention and hope that in some way it is of use to those of you listening. Maybe there's something you can resonate with and connect with. Just got my beautiful cup of cacao to help soothe me into that vulnerable space. And you may be able to hear in the background, I'm currently house sitting for a couple of pugs, so they're snoring away. So yeah, I apologise if that is a little bit distracting. They also have the best light in the house, so that's why I'm here. Yeah, you may have noticed that my video quality has improved dramatically. I was able to secure an amazing setup from someone who had given the opportunity of podcasting a go, but had just found that it wasn't for them. And yeah, I guess that leads me into my first topic of today, which is the world being a safe place or a dangerous place, and it really depends on how you feel about the way in which you choose to perceive it. This woman that I'd purchased the camera off had collected all this amazing equipment, but when it came to expressing herself online, there was a fear there, and I completely understand that. I've been in that place before where it's felt unsafe to express myself and be fully seen, and it's been a journey for me to dive deep into exploring those parts of myself that don't feel safe to be seen in authenticity by my peers and strangers, anyone who's willing to watch what it is that I'm sharing, I guess. But yeah, essentially she had all this equipment, and it was just there was a level of fear there of the world being unsafe, and it was actually quite interesting because after I picked this system up, Libby and I guided a 2-on-1 breathwork session, so both of us facilitating, supporting one individual, and that ended up being the theme as well. Was the fear of this particular woman's safety in the world, and we have this thing called the reticular activating system, and essentially, the RAS. And essentially what that does is it looks for examples of whatever it is that we choose to believe. So, I guess in this example, if we choose to believe the world is a dangerous place, we might find ourselves, watching the news or, finding examples of why the world is not a safe place to be in. And the more we focus on that, the more we see examples of it. And that helps to build our, this RAS construct around this belief system that we have. And the beauty of that is that we can change it. We can start to focus on examples of how the world is a beautiful place and a safe place. And the more we do that, we can really open ourselves up to so many possibilities, because once we feel safe, we feel more comfortable with being our authentic selves. And so this client session yesterday was all about that. Was about the desire to feel safe in the world, or the fear of the world being a dangerous place, and that came from right back to birth, where this particular individual had come out with the umbilical cord wrapped around their neck, and so although we may not be in a conscious state, we are in a conscious state, but it may not feel like anything because we're just a baby. these things can really impact the way we see the world. And in this particular breathwork session, we actually did, a full rebirthing journey where we took that person back to that time and space where they had that umbilical cord wrapped around them, and were able to guide them back to a sense of safety and rewrite that script. And there's so much expansion in that, in the ability to feel safe. I personally, experienced that a lot. I didn't grow up in a really bad part of South Auckland, but I was in those sorts of areas for a lot of my youth. So I was very familiar with being very conscious of where I was looking and not wanting to say the wrong thing to the wrong person. But through my own journey with breathwork and finding safety and looking for examples of safety, I would say that I've completely shifted that in a lot of ways. And right down to, our last house set was arguably in quite a, known as being a not safe area. And myself and Libby had the complete opposite experience, where we just met so many loving people and never had any issues or felt like there was ever any issues. And I truly believe that really comes down to these practices and our ability to shift in and find examples and recreate a different version of the world. Einstein has that amazing quote which says something like, either the world is an unsafe world or the world is a safe world, but it's the same world. There's two different people one could experience this place of bliss and relaxation, and the same person on the same street, one house across, could be experiencing the complete opposite. And it really comes down to, the way we choose to perceive things. I think the fact that I don't watch the news plays a huge role in it. I don't really consume. On my social media, I've unfollowed any of those stuff or any of those sorts of media where they can portray what's going on in the rest of the world. Like only a few hundred years ago, we were used to dealing with the problems of a few hundred people, and now we're seeing the issues and pain of the 8 billion people that we share this planet with. And I don't think that we have the capacity to deal with that and to be able to process that. And I think it can create a lot of heaviness in the body. So it was really beautiful to be able to use those techniques like breathwork and just visualization and coaching to support those shifts and changes. On a personal level, I'd say I'm navigating my relationship with anger and what that means. I think it really comes down to what it means to be masculine, if I'm perfectly honest. There's a deeper layer there of, I went to a men's group session, essentially, where we did some embodiment practices and kind of connected with other like-minded men. And left that space. Someone raised the question, what does it mean to be masculine? And the facilitator wasn't able to answer that, and I've been really pondering what that means. And for me, it means being able to be vulnerable, means being able to express emotions in a healthy way. It means being grounded and stable. It means having a drive or a vision for the future. It means being able to support the feminine. And actually, there was a beautiful part of the breathwork journey yesterday where I was just my presence, she was saying, was able to rewrite the way in which that she had seen and felt the masculine. I really feel like that's what it comes down to. It's not always what men say. It's just energetically being, a structure, like a tree trunk for the feminine to feel supported against and held by. But I really feel like there's the aspect of the primal masculine as well, which I really want to dive into. And I know it's been kind of probably maybe classed as the toxic masculine in some ways. But there is that aspect of the masculine that just wants to go out and, adventure or leave into the bush for for days or weeks on end, and then come back with stories and maybe food or whatever it is. But there's this aspect that I feel like is really missing in the masculine, and in my life as well. Like I have definitely noticed when it comes to physicality, like I feel like I can embody a lot of those aspects of the masculine, and I feel like the real next one is the embodiment within my body of building that structure or frame that can be supportive on a physical level. And yeah, when I was walking the dogs this morning, kind of pondering why it is that I have so much resistance to being physically fit and active. And Libby was reading this part of this. She's training a lot in the art of rebirthing at the moment, and this particular component that she read to me last night was about what it is as a baby, and we experience things like maybe diaper rash or being sick, and how that impacts our relationship to our mothers or our fathers. And the thing that dropped in this morning was that I was a really sickly child. I always had chest infections or tonsillitis or kind of you name it. I was always quite unwell, and I think on a subconscious level that has created this connection between love, the feminine, and illness. And so by that I mean that when I'm sick or when I'm unwell or not my full strength, I get more attention, or that was when my mum used to come and look after me. And so maybe there's an aspect of myself that feels like if I become strong and healthy, that I'll no longer deserve the love of my mother or of my partner. Because at the end of the day, these romantic relationships we get in, they are just a reflection of the relationships with our parents until we heal them. And so just really sitting with that, and I guess as I was walking this morning, looking for examples of how that isn't a reality and how I'm deserving of love even if I am fit and healthy. And I know it sounds weird to say on a practical level, like of course it makes sense, but it's sometimes these programmings are beyond logic, and that's why sometimes all amounts of talk therapy can never really get to the bottom of what it is that we're truly navigating, because they are in the subconscious. They're beyond the conscious mind, and the rationale of the conscious mind, I guess, is what's coming to mind. So be really navigating that and wanting to find examples of really healthy masculine men. I had a dream the other night where I was sitting around kind of like a table of these elders, and they were listing off famous authors that embodied that healthy masculine. And unfortunately I can't remember any of them, but it did lead me to ponder what it is to what healthy masculine looks like, and where I can find examples of that, and how I can learn to embody that, because my dream is to run deep transformative workshops where we can create these levels of safety and security, and that requires my embodiment on all levels of the masculine. And yes, that's probably what I'm processing most at the moment, is wondering what that looks like and feels like, and that can look like me sometimes feeling emotionally dysregulated because what I thought I believed, and as these things start to arise, I need to learn to navigate them in different ways. And so really yeah, been sitting with that and journaling lots, and yeah, looking for examples, I guess, is what it comes down to. That's the theme of of this chat today. And journaling has been a hugely supportive tool in this time, where I can kind of look back on things and kind of understand why it is that I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. And I use journaling as a loose term. Essentially, it's just idea dumping or thought dumping, so I can just get it out of my head and see it on a page. And from there, I've been making affirmations about it. And when those affirmations feel uncomfortable, to write down, kind of writing affirmations to approach those parts of me that feel uncomfortable. But yeah, it's been a heck of a few weeks. And I'm super grateful for having this space to share with what's going on with me, and hope that it resonates with you. And if it does, I really would appreciate you letting me know. Always appreciate the like and subscribe, and get in touch if you want to share more. And have a blessed and beautiful day.